to. Stu Dog and Raw Talk hitting me up. All right, on the way in. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Corey, man. Happy Father's Day to everybody that's a father. Early and all of that, but we ain't gonna see y'all tomorrow. So, and I appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, just saying, man, we felt it only right, we have to pay homage to one of the pioneers, one of the OGs of the YouTube, of the comic YouTube game. Comicstorian, bro, he's one of the OGs. Like, Comicstorian is one of my inspirations. Slave salute. He's one of the comic channels. Him, I'm gonna say it, Comicstorian and Comics Explained. Those two, and Comic University, but mainly Comicstorian, Comics Explained. Those were the guys that I was watching before I even, really thought about doing a channel. And the guy's been around since like 2014 and shit, but I was watching Comicstorian back in, say, 2018, 2017, and Comics Explained and stuff, and they kind of, well, they, when I decided to do the channel and all of that, they were some of the main they were the main ones that I was really watching that made me, know that this was something that could be done. That's what I mean. Like, they're the pioneers of that shit. Comicstorian, one of the first dudes to do this, get up here on YouTube and talk about comic books with such passion, you know what I mean? And really, like, getting into the comics, showing you inside the comics, reading the comics to you, you know what I mean? Breaking down the comics, breaking down the meanings and the histories of the characters and all that good stuff like that. And, really was just one of those guys that started the game, you know what I mean? Derpy, salute. I'm here for the roll up content. Yes, sir. You already know. Bruh, where the heck is Stu always late.
Yeah. I had a late Father's Day call, man. That was it. My dad called me, man. You know it's Father's Day tomorrow. He old, man, in his 70s. They don't give a damn what time.
He thought
You
it
gotta
was
stop
Father's
it.
Day already.
It's Father's Day for him, regardless. It's tomorrow. He don't give a damn. It's Father's Day for him. Period.
It's
He
Father's
just,
Day weekend.
yeah. I sent him a nice gift, man. So he just was calling me to thank me, but I was trying to, I didn't want to try. I was trying not to be rude to him. This, Dad, I'm trying to do a show. I gotta get off this phone. He
Oh,
just
nah.
kept thanking me, but I'm
Yeah,
just, I'm grateful that my dad is alive and I'm able to send him something for Father's Day, man. So that's a blessing in itself, you
facts.
know. And I'm gonna call him right before. I'm gonna call him on my way to. I'm gonna talk to him on my way into work tonight. So you know. But happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I
Absolutely.
mean,
Yeah,
all the
man.
real fathers.
Yeah.
Even the
Thank you,
ones
man.
that ain't real dads. Even the ones that ain't real dads. Hopefully, one day you will become one.
That's
And
right.
yeah, it's always hope. It's always hope.
It's
Always
always
hope.
hope.
Happy Father's Day to you too, Reno. Everybody in the chat. Who's in the chat? Corey, Azure, Slade. Oh yeah, Father's Day,
Yeah,
man.
man. Thank you,
Father's
man. Happy Father's Day, Stu.
Day. Yeah. So, Comicstorian.
Yeah, man.
How did they say how he died? Did they
Oh
say
yeah,
any
yeah.
details?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what happened?
And so he rolled his truck. Um, basically, it was on the 8th, on June 8th. He went over a bunch of lanes in the truck and flipped his Forerunner a bunch of times and died on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Hella tragic, hella young, man. And but yeah, I
Mm,
mean, for those who don't know, he was an internet personality, a comic book YouTuber, one of the first guys to really get on and do this. And he had over 3 million subscribers, and he was killed in a single vehicle car crash on Saturday. This was June 8th, and in a press release shared on uh, the 11th, the Colorado State Patrol said that the incident happened at 9:19 a.m., so fucking early in the morning. local time on I-25 near Fort Collins. It said the Windsor resident was southbound on I-25 at milepost 267.5 when his silver Toyota 4Runner traveled off the right shoulder of the interstate. He continued to cross over the frontage road paralleling the interstate before rolling his vehicle multiple times. And on Wednesday, June 12th, the local coroner announced that his manner of death has been determined to be an accident, while his cause of death is listed as blunt force injuries of the head.
Mm.
Yeah, so he just got banged up. Just got real banged up, man, flipping in the truck. And he was wearing his seatbelt at the time of the accident, but he succumbed to his injuries from the crash while at the scene. Um, so yeah, he was alone. He was the only occupant of the vehicle. No other vehicles were involved. Thank God. But it's just him, man. It was just weird, man. And while an investigation into the cause of the crash remains ongoing, he wasn't intoxicated. He wasn't high. He wasn't drunk. Didn't the vehicle? There was no other vehicles involved. He wasn't speeding, so they don't really know what caused it yet. The actual accident itself, but in a message shared on X, formerly known as Twitter, his wife previously said he died in an unfortunate accident. Didn't really go into what it was about, but she said on the Twitter post, to many of you, he was Comicstorian, voicing stories from across multiple different mediums. To his loved ones, he was one of the best and most supportive individuals anyone could ask for. She shared without providing details of the accident. As a husband, a son, a brother, a friend, or even just a stranger, Ben was loving and genuine. He was someone who would listen and make time for his loved ones, and he would do his best to make everyone laugh and make sure that they were okay. He was our rock, and he'd reassure his loved ones whenever they needed it. Yeah, she said her husband, who created audio dramas of comic books on his Comicstorian account on YouTube here, regularly discussing the Marvel and DC universes, was her world. He she said, I need time to be with my friends and family. I have so many things I need to figure out, but firstly, I needed to grieve. I ask that you respect my privacy as well as everyone else's. Right now, my priority is preserving everything he's built, and I don't have any plans beyond that. And as for the future, Natalie called her husband's channel one of his greatest accomplishments and said he wouldn't want it to end like this. Ben spent over 10 years spreading his love and appreciation for his hobbies. It was through his love of exciting stories and well-written characters that got him started on YouTube, she added. The team and I want to keep that going, to honor him by continuing to tell great stories by great people, as well as to keep the memory of our very own superhero alive. We supported each other on everything we wanted to do, and I'm not about to stop now. So they do plan to keep his channel going. For fans of the channel. The
I wonder how they're gonna do that, man.
Yeah, I don't know. They may just have different people come on and talk, or they may just do edits of his previous stuff. That's hard to tell.
Mm.
But yeah, he was known primarily for narrating comics. Like, he would get on there, and this is something that I actually thought about doing a couple times, where he would just literally read the comic, like narrate it, read it out, have the comic up on the screen, and just go through it page by page, basically reading it. But not just reading it real boring, like he was all into it, and it was very entertaining and very like educational if you wanted to learn about a certain character or a certain title or whatever, or a certain storyline or whatever. um and he had the Weekly Pull podcast. It was called Weekly Pull. It was a weekly podcast dedicated to all everything comic books, and he was the co-founder of the podcast. Him and Comics Explained, Comic Pop, and Caped Joel. But the Comics Experiment, formerly called Rob and Benny Experiment, is a weekly podcast dedicated to everything comic books as well. Rob is the other is Comics Explained is the other YouTuber that I used to
Mm,
watch back in the day. It was Rob and Comics Historian, Comics Explained, Comics Historian. Um, Manga Storian he actually created in 2022, which is an anime and manga based channel called Manga Story, and on the channel he would discuss various manga series that he was reading, different Japanese comics. And Benny has a problem. In 2024, in January of this year, Benny created a new channel called Benny Has a Problem, which had a similar structure to the Problem With series, which was on his main Comic Story and channel. And instead of discussing and doing research on various topics and issues in the comic book industry, he would apply similar principles to other topics like video games, history, the internet, AI, whatever. And but yeah, that's that was he had a dope ass you know career that he built on doing this. And it's just an inspiration, man. He was just you know for over 10 years people been watching him. Ben Potter, known as Comicstorian, and you know, for the latest news, deep dives into different comics, different, publishers, different storylines, whatever whatever it may be, focusing primarily on covering Marvel and DC comics, but always dipping his toes into everything, that comics had to offer. And he has posted new videos almost every day since 2014. Like he's for real with it, and he spoke about everything from
yeah,
new
he was.
storylines, you know what I mean, comic book movies,
Yeah,
fucking his own opinions,
yeah,
all that shit.
yeah. It's sad, man. It's sad how how he died and just the whole thing. But he will be missed. I can tell you that because I used to watch Comic Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You said they
And
was
you got
talking
some
about it at
people
your
that,
job?
yeah, we talking about it at work, and one of the guys I work with, he uh he said he loved Comic Story, man. He said, oh,
Yeah.
he said that's how he got all his comic book, you know, knowledge, as of now, because a lot of people
Yeah.
just you don't have the time to read or whatever. And he was just going through the whole thing. Like he was saying, like you could send him recommendations. Uh, yeah, and if it was a comic you couldn't read or couldn't get or whatever, he'll read it for you. He'd get it out. He'd do the damn thing. But it's you got some people that nowadays that just don't have the time to read. Or some people can't read, but we're not gonna go there. But it was
Uh,
a comic historian was that bridge that filled that gap, you know. So if you wanted to read, if you wanted to know what's going on nowadays in the comic book, he kept you up to date. You know,
mm-hmm.
it was
And
very
then he did.
entertaining to watch him do it, and
Yeah.
it was very unique, right? It was really, really, really unique.
Yeah, he eventually did little spin-off shows and channels, which is what I definitely want to do. But he's got spin-off channels where he offered his thoughts on different shit like anime, TV shows, even different worldly topics like the encroaching presence of AI on the internet at large, period. As of 2024, he had over 3 million subscribers on YouTube. I mean, that's no that's you don't understand, like that's you big time, bro. That's big money right there. That's big money right
That
there.
is.
That's a big fucking career that any fucking Hollywood celebrity would be happy to have. Money like that. And more than a decade after becoming a known internet personality in pop culture, he then passes away like that. Is crazy. Because he was like I said, he's one of the OGs of the shit that we do. And you know it's crazy, man.
It is, bro. It really is.
We didn't find out till like 2 days after he passed and shit. But you know.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, comic story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been lots of condolences and videos about him and all of this stuff and I mean, he was definitely like in this industry, he was definitely well known. If you're into comics on YouTube, you fucking know Comicstorian, period.
That's true. That's
There's no
true.
other way around it.
Yeah, he was definitely for
His
the hardcore comic book fan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's he been a super fan since he was a little kid, reading the comic books that his father collected. And he had broke that down once in a video and posted on his channel. And he loved Armageddon 2001, which is a DC comic centered on a scientist named Wave Rider, who travels into the past to discover which classic superhero has become the maniacal dictator destroying his present time. And he he was buying comics, ever since, as a kid up until his teens. And then he said the Spider-Man clone saga he was reading at the time became too convoluted for him, and he kind of to follow while he was still reading other stuff. But his passion was reignited during a mid 2000s deployment to Afghanistan. He's in the military, and he had free time, working in a military hospital, and he found the DC 52 comics, and which didn't require knowing decades of backstories and other shit like that. And, unlike, other comics that branched off from existing, storylines from decades past. And New 52 was a really accessible uh entry point, for new readers and stuff like that. And much like House of X, Powers of X brought me back into the game, DC 52, New 52 brought him back into the game. And he received a medical retirement from the military. And him and his wife
Mm,
were already running a successful gaming channel when she began to express interest in the comic book storylines that he loved. And but she didn't want to read the comic books, just to understand the plots of the movies. And the idea, combined with how difficult it had been for him to begin reading comic books again, inspired him to create Comicstorian. And it's
mm,
kind of just like how, I got back into comics, and from House of X, Powers of X, and was thinking about, hip hop and comics. And we were kind of doing the full blast radio shit like that with DJ Tiger and them. And then I was like, yo, we need to start talking about these comics on the channel, but I still want to keep it hip hop. And I'm reading the Valiant comic book, and I start seeing him. I start reading this line that's coming straight out of a Nas fucking song, dog. He verbatim had the character saying the verse from the Nas rhyme, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, because I always seen, Tony Starks and, all this comic book shit in hip hop my whole life. Always, it's always been there. But I never really saw hip hop in just random comics like that, unless it was a comic about hip hop. But this was just showing that hip hop was now permeating comics, because the guy that wrote this comic clearly was a Nas fan. And like, hip hop heads that, from my era that were kids, grew up on hip hop. Now they're grown. Now they're the ones writing these comics, and that hip hop is coming through. And so I was like, okay, hip hop and comics are fucking closely linked, and it deserves a fucking channel. And so here we are. And so it really kind of parallels with Comicstorian's story. It really made me interested. And I was like, watching his channel and Comic Books Explained, and I'm like, yo, like, I can do this. You know what I mean? Like, this is dope. And this is really, interesting. And it just really made me excited about it. Like, their channels really made me excited about doing this, and just comics, period. So, that's why we're doing this today. Because, the legacy of Comicstorian is is real. Like, he really has inspired fucking many
millions, yeah.
YouTubers and guys, that came after him. And like his wife said, his channel was one of his biggest accomplishments, and that's true. I mean, you get 3 million subscribers, that's a major accomplishment in your life. That's a fucking success story. Like, you don't understand.
Mm,
That's like getting in the NBA. That's like getting signed. That's like getting signed to a label. That's like getting chosen into a big movie franchise. Like, that's really
yeah.
getting on. Like, that's really being a fucking really paid motherfucker. And he did that shit for over a decade, and one of the real fucking pioneers of the shit.
Yeah, we gotta take our hat off to him.
James
Actually.
Gunn put out a fucking statement that he was sorry to hear that of Comicstorian's passing. He said, "My heart goes out to his family and friends." James Gunn. Um,
Watch his comic story.
oh yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Like, a lot of these celebrities watch these shows, watch these channels and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of them, heard a lot of interviews, and I've been like, "Yo, like, I watch that YouTuber." Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're doing the same thing we're doing. We're just sitting around on their fucking between takes or whatever in their trailer. They're on fucking YouTube, and I've heard a lot of them. Comics Explained, Comicstorian's homeboy Rob, he fucking sat down with goddamn what's his name? Vin Diesel to talk about the fucking. And this is back in the day. I was like, yo, he got Vin Diesel. It was crazy. Shit. So this shit is for real. Like, the Funko Pop brand, um, said we're sorry for your loss. They put out a statement. The Funko Pop brand. I mean, it's a lot of real people that knew this guy, that watched his channel and shit. Greg
Yeah, share
Miller,
that channel, yeah.
chief executive of online entertainment, kind of funny. He wrote Ben Was a Great One. Uh, yeah, he was really well known. He was really, really for real.
Yeah, that's so like I said, he'll be missed, man. I'm still gonna log on there and just see what's up on the channel, see if they put up new or whatever. You know. But
Yeah,
he
definitely
definitely
go check
comes
it
up
out.
in my feed. Yeah, he definitely comes up in my feed a couple times a week. I'm definitely going to check out his channel and see what's new is going up or whatever the case.
Definitely. That's what's up, Slade. That's what's up. But yeah, in other news, have y'all seen the let's bust this out. The Dogg Pound has released an official video for Who the Hardest from their latest album WAWG, and DJ Premier, my favorite producer, did the beat. It's beautiful, features Lady of Rage, Corrupt, RBX, Daz, and Snoop. And I'm here in VA where Rage is actually from, and she kills it, bro. Rage. I haven't heard Rage do
Yeah,
nothing in a while. She fucking.
yeah. That joint she just did with Snoop. Well, you know Snoop bought Death Row. He bought the Death Row name or whatever he did. So now he gets to put out, albums under that Death Row label. I think he bought the label or something like that. But I don't know if they have an official headquarters or anything yet. But that song he just put out with Rage on, that was dope, bro.
Yeah,
That was
man.
real dope. It was
It's really dope.
him to Dog Pound. Yeah, him, Dog Pound, RBX, and Snoop.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like a welcome to Death Row, the new
Mhm.
Death Row.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
LL
Yeah.
put out a song. LL put out a joint too, man. That was pretty hot that I heard the other day. With Rick Ross.
Mhm.
It's LL and Rick Ross. I was listening to that the other day.
That's funny. Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, was on Joe Rogan. Did you see that video clip I sent you?
Yeah, yo.
Hilarious. They said Rick
Bruh, like
Ross was a real asshole. CO,
I
a real
heard,
asshole
right?
guard.
Yeah, I'm like,
Uh,
damn.
bro, I can't have extra
But he
suits,
still
dog.
he still walk around and say he ain't never been to see up. I don't know why he keep doing
Nah,
that.
he definitely. Well, he admitted it. He admitted it. I seen an
Did he?
interview where he admitted it, but he
Okay.
said he tried to lie and say that the reason he was a CO was because he was down with a team, like a drug squad, and they needed an inside man, so they had him get the job to be on the inside to help you know, whatever their you know machinations would be. Total bullshit. I mean, what it takes to be a CO, you're not a fucking, you can't be a criminal. You know what I mean? But you
Come on,
know,
Rick, man. Come on,
that's
Rick,
why.
man. Nothing wrong with making an honest living, brother.
It's that's why
This,
you ain't
this,
just me admit like yo, it was a fucking job. It's a
yeah,
job.
it's a job. Like
Nigga,
that's
that's
what,
a job.
right.
That's it.
Like KRS-One once said that when he first heard his song on the radio, he was working somewhere. He said, I was literally mopping a floor. He said, I was working. He said, I was at work mopping the floor.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
my
when he heard his
song
own
came
shit.
on the radio. He
Yep.
said, and ultimately that was the end of my mopping career. He said,
Right.
because I've never mopped nobody else's floor but my own after that. But he
Yep.
said, he said that's why he said he was homeless. He said I was in a homeless
Yeah.
shelter when Criminal
Yeah.
Minded and all that came out. So, it's not wrong with it, man. Everybody got to start somewhere. And they're killing the
Oh,
Acolyte, bro. Like Acolyte is doing really bad right now, review wise.
yeah,
But
that's
casual fans love it. Casual
sad thing.
fans, it's a casual show for
Now
casual
where
fans, but the
is
hardcore Star Wars fans don't like it.
trying to see where is hold on, this might be
What are you looking for? Ghost, man. That's
this.
my hero. Oh, the Joe Rogan Joe. This was a good interview, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It really blew me away. Like I watched it and I was blown away by it.
About you? Not in person, no. Anytime I'm around, he disappears.
For anybody that doesn't know, the rapper Rick Ross took his name from this gangster, this man right here, who he was a drug dealer. He was the biggest when the CIA was introducing crack to the black community and pumping kilo after kilo, hundreds of kilos of cocaine into the black community to fund their Iran Contra shit with Reagan down in South America. Rick Ross was the man who was selling the cocaine. Like he was the main connection that spread the dope into the hood. Like he was the guy selling. He didn't know that it was the government. He didn't know any of this shit at the time. You know, he didn't know any of this shit till later. But he was the guy making. He said that they were making millions of dollars a day. He said he was profiting millions of dollars a week, and it's absolutely facts. I mean, there's the it's like it's all been documented, but um, he's the real Rick Ross, and Rick Ross took his name, which fine. 50 Cent took a name of a guy. There was a real gangster named 50 Cent in New York who
50
died.
Cent, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's fine. He doesn't deny it though. Rick Ross actually denies taking his name. He denies it. He says that the way he got, I'm gonna let Rick Ross tell it. It's fucking, it's bad.
Well, before we start that, Reno, I just want to, I can, the history is how he got to where he is because of this. The government needed money to fight this war over in Nicaragua. The Russians had gave the Sandinistas
Yeah,
a
bro. I was
hundred
trying not to
million
go into
dollars.
all that.
Yeah, no, I got the short version to
Yeah,
fight.
okay.
You know what I mean? But Congress cut off
That's
all the money from the Contras, and so the Sandinistas had an advantage. Reagan and Bush. Now remember the names I said. Reagan and Bush felt that if the Russians took over Nicaragua, they would be too close to America and they would be in our backyard. And a lot of people like Rick Ross believe in their heart 100% that if it had not been for them and Reagan and Bush sacrificed a whole particular genre of people to get this agenda met. And Rick Ross would tell you himself, if it wasn't for that ideology that they had, that he would have never been a drug dealer. Ever.
right.
Yeah, when he was a correctional officer, and they told me what a shitty guy he was. That they would be shooting dice, he would take the dice and all the money, and they got extra soup. He'd take the soups, and wow, just stuff that normal officers just don't. Officers. I mean, everybody in jail got extra soups. You save your soups because there might come a time and you ain't got them, so you stack yourself up. But most officers don't even care. Who cares about extra soup? We trying to get the dope dealers and the guys with the knives. But then you got those ones like, oh well, you got an extra pair of underwear. You going to the hole.
You know COs like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And knows who you are. Everybody knows who you are. Takes your name. I mean, it's like it doesn't even make sense. That it's like, didn't you have a case? You had like a legal case about
I lost the case.
How the fuck did you lose?
They said I should have filed a lawsuit using the name.
So there was a statute, right?
To come up with a date.
With statute of limitations, the judge went from the first time Rick Ross's first song played on the radio. That's when people first knew about Rick Ross. In her mind, that was the date, and he had 2 years from that date to file this lawsuit. Of course, he didn't know about it from 2 years from that date. It was actually 5 days before he was released from prison, from doing all that time since the 80s crack shit, that he found out about Rick Ross in the 90s. I was like 96, something like that. And
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
there's no way.
My mom, we was getting evicted to $220,000. If he would have came and said, hey, I'm gonna sell your mom's house, let me have Rick Ross, change your name to Mitch or whatever.
Well, you would never change your name. That's crazy.
But I would have licensed. I didn't even care about the name. Come and ask me, or he didn't.
I'm trying to find. This is hilarious.
1.5.
I had to pay that.
When we,
So
it blows me away
we go to trial.
how some people lie.
Heard the thing that he did, because we did his deposition.
Listen,
We took his depo. That was the first time I ever met him in person. He wouldn't shake my hand either. No, when he walked in, all the attorneys, it was a big table, about 12 people in the room, and he walks in, and he walks around the table, shakes everybody, including my lawyer. He shakes my lawyer's hands and everybody, and I stood up to shake his hand, but I don't have no hard feelings, just give me my money. He rolled his eyes at me and walks away. Turned his shoulder like, wow. I ain't.
And what's crazy, Rick Ross, he's like, I don't even care. It's just like, you don't give me no homage or nothing. Rick Ross, the rapper, not only has he never given an homage or said nothing about the real Rick Ross, he literally denies that he got the name Rick Ross from Rick Ross. And his excuse to how he got the name Rick Ross is so childish and such a bullshit lie. It's embarrassing.
And then he comes up with this. Oh my goodness! I don't know where he got the story from.
It's bad.
Yeah, he played football in high school, and the whole team was called the Big East. And some guy was trying to call him Big East and accidentally called him the Big Boss, and then somebody else called him Rick Ross. It went from Big Boss to Rick Ross. That's his story.
So basically, his story is that he played football for Big East. Somebody was calling him mistakenly. Instead of saying Big East, they said Big Boss. And then someone heard that and thought they said Rick Ross. And he said, hey, Rick Ross. And the name stuck. Like, what the fuck? Like, who? It's not even a good lie. It's ridiculous.
How he came up with the name Rick Ross. That's the dumbest fucking
dumbest fucking thing I've ever.
Just for saying, come in my courtroom line.
Yeah.
But that's impossible. If he's rapping about drug dealing and money, it's impossible that he doesn't know who you are. Impossible. Not possible.
I agree.
Everybody knows. I knew who you were. I don't even remember when I read it.
Gary Webb published a story in '96 with the San Jose Mercury News. My name.
So there's a book called Dark Alliance. It's a story, actually. It's actually an article by Gary Webb. Gary Webb got killed, I think, by the government, and I mean it's real obvious that the fucking government killed him. And he was a reporter who was exposing all the shit about the Sandinistas and the Contras and the whole thing. And he exposed the whole thing about the cocaine and all of that. That they were using the coke money to fund the Contras and the Sandinistas, the whole thing. And so he was basically putting all that on blast, saying that all this stuff was done at the expense of the black community. No genre, it's the black community, black people. And they basically, were like, okay, well, how can we sell enough drugs to make enough money that fast without ravaging, America? Well, let's just ravage certain communities with it, and
right?
that was
Because they
how that happened.
can't, right? Because they couldn't send money from the federal government because it would start a world war.
It had to
So
be
they had to
clandestine money,
send. It
right?
had to be money from another source that
Right,
couldn't be traced,
couldn't be
and
traced
that's
to the
what the
government.
Iran, right, to the government. So that's what the Iran Contra scandals were about.
Mhm.
And I believe that they felt it was more viable to sacrifice a particular sector of America and a race of people in America in order to save the whole country. And I
Exactly.
think that's where Bush and Reagan were looking at it like that. But in a sense, they sanctioned it because they turned a blind eye. If you were
Hmm.
selling drugs
Oh
back
yeah.
then, yeah, yeah, it did. They
they,
didn't give a
they knew where
damn.
the money was coming
Yeah,
from.
they knew where the
They
money
knew.
was coming from and where it was going. Yeah,
They didn't give
so
a
it
damn.
didn't make a difference. Yeah, so it didn't make it down. It didn't make it down, and they turned a blind eye. There's a documentary on Netflix called the Octopath or something, Octopath Files or something like that, that
Mm,
talks about that. And when I was watching it, it was one guy on there. He said that they were using the mob to do hits. They were using the mob to sell drugs. They were using everybody they could sell drugs, like taking people out. Like when people started
yeah.
talking about it or people tried to put it out, they would call, a government agent would come. He said, we knew they were from the government. He
Right.
said, we were legal hitmen and drug dealers.
Right.
Legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
He even said
Literally.
how the guy even said how he got caught selling drugs. He said, I got caught with a trunk full of coke. Keys. He said, I had a trunk filled to the rim with
Let
keys.
him
I
go.
got pulled over. I
Yeah.
went down. He said, I went to jail and somebody came and got me within 24 hours. And I was out of jail, never got no charges, never seen or heard nothing after that. And
Hmm.
it's called I think it was called, I think it's called the Octopus Files or Octopath Files, something
Yeah.
like
It's
that. You
it's
gotta
the
watch it.
yeah. No, I've seen it. I
It's
saw it.
deep. You
Yeah, I
seen it?
saw
Yeah,
it.
it's
Oh yeah.
super deep, bro.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it blew me away. It
Yeah.
blew me away listening to them talk like that
Yeah.
about a lot of stuff that went down and how it went down. And Rick Ross was one of the people that benefited from that. You
Hmm.
know,
Oh yeah.
he made a lot of money. He made a lot of money. But then when it was over, a lot of them said that the government kind of, you know, stabbed them in the back because then they came and arrested them all, and threw people in jail. And, but they said, but while it was going on, it was good. It was good. And Snoop Dogg,
American
this is a hot.
Conspiracy, the Octopus Murders. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. It's good. Every in the chat, if you're in the chat, you get a chance, check that out. 'Cause it's worth it. It's worth a
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. But this shit here,
Rage. It look good, man. Rage look good.
I don't know if
Like
y'all can hear this.
RDX.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear it because I've looked back at some of our videos and y'all can tell me in the chat. But when I've looked back at some of our videos, when I've played music like this, it don't come across like we hear it, but I don't think y'all are hearing it. I don't think it's playing through. I don't think it's that you guys can hear it really well. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you guys can't hear it because in the past y'all ain't been able to hear this shit. Old ass. This is beautiful because all these guys are well into their 50s and
Some
it
in their
just
60s.
yeah, and it just makes Andre 3000 look ridiculous for what he said.
But they putting out decent. They put out good hip hop. Premier is putting out beats.
Great music.
Still putting out hard beats and good stuff, man. Now this is rap. This is what rap's supposed to be. This is hard. Rap got to be
Check
hard.
out
It ain't
Rick.
got to be commercial. It's supposed to be hard. Like who the hardest?
The hardest in the DPG.
Rage did kick it on this, man. Lyric wise, she kicked it.
Here, right motherfucking now. Don't be a fool. Bring this motherfucker. Oh, crap. Yo, my son Blaze was sitting there with me and I was showing him this shit. And he's watching this
Mhm.
shit and he goes, Dad. He said she ain't mentioned her pussy, her ass, her titties, sucking no dick or nothing, not one time.
She don't have to because she got lyrics. If you a
That's crazy.
female rapper
That's crazy.
and you
He
gotta
said
mention right,
she shitting on all
th-
female rappers then, because that's
yeah,
for his generation. That's all they know. And he's like, yo,
that's
he's
all
like,
they know. Yeah,
he hates that shit. So he was like, yo, this like she's dope. Like he was like, that's amazing. Like love to see a female rapper not mention that shit. And she
MC
and
Light
this, when she
never
first started
did.
rapping, he said that shit. And I said, well, I said, watch, by the end of this verse, I said, I ain't heard it yet. I bet money right now that she don't never mention nothing like that. Rage is not gonna never mention no shit like that. Never.
No, no. Don't forget Rod Digger, same way.
Raw Digger,
Uh,
yes, many of them.
MC Light. They never had
Exactly.
to, talk about sex and you never even seen MC Light. MC Light never even came dressed with like nothing like revealing in any video she had. She just
Mm.
came looking real hip hop.
Yep.
Every joint she was in, he was like, God damn,
The asymmetric
like
with the bamboos and leather
yeah,
vest, leather jacket or whatever, and the fucking Tim's on or something. That's how MC Lighter come.
yeah. And she from Farmville, Virginia.
Woo! One more time. God damn. Crazy. Crazy. Yo, corrupt spit it too. Everybody talking about how Rage spit it. Rage went crazy. Who the hardest? Rage got every female rapper like, damn, she's straight fire. Lady of Rage has aged incredibly well. Always found her criminally underrated. Damn, Rage better than any female rapper right now. She been gone for 30 years. That's crazy. I'm blown by this. Lady of Rage. Rage 8 left no crumbs. Rage still got them lyrics, top tier. Rage ate this up. Like, Rage, without a doubt, the female GOAT. Rage killed that shit. Afro Pups came back like pow. Fucking, yeah. Have you heard any of this shit? Stu, I think you're muted, bro.
Good. My joint came out.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go. We good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah, my joint came out. I listen to all this stuff, man, because I'm a fan, bro. I'm a true hip hop fan, bro. Like rap is losing right now, man. Everybody out here, they say the same thing about rap. We need more of this. When Snoop and them drop, we need more of that. Bring hip hop
Yeah,
back up. You know what I mean? Because after a while, if it keeps going at the rate it's going, rap's gonna fizzle out. It's just not gonna be relevant anymore. Um,
never
there's too
happened.
many corny rappers. Too many corny rappers out there. No, I mean it ain't gonna be like gone, but nobody's gonna pay attention to it anymore. It's just gonna be, oh, you hear such? Yeah, I heard. All right, and they're gonna move on. But
Yeah,
corny rappers are killing the industry right now. There's a lot of corny guys out there, man, putting out music and
yeah. It's always been corny rappers,
running the
though. I
culture.
feel like it's always been whack rappers. It's always been corny rappers. It's always
Oh
because I
yeah,
remember when we was kids, it just there was less of rappers, but there was there was always whack crews, whack type of rap,
whack
whack
tight.
shit.
Yeah, there
Shit that
was.
we was just like, that's booty. I don't fuck with that or what. I mean, it was always that kind of shit, and it's just like that today. We still have a lot of great MCs. Um, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I'm not saying
Method
it ain't
Man.
none,
I
but I'm
mean,
just saying like, yeah, yeah.
Conway,
Cause did
Davey.
you see what Meth? Did you see what Meth? Where Meth was mad because they took his comment about doing Summer Jam out of context, and they interviewed
Oh
him.
yeah,
TMZ, somebody from TMZ saw him somewhere, and they asked him about his comment, And Meth said, y'all took it out of whoever they said. He said whoever initially did that took it out of context. He said,
Yeah.
it wasn't about them not liking my music or anything like that. He just said, I just think that
Right.
basically, it's not there for me to do it anymore. Like I'm not interested in it. And he said he did it for the 50th anniversary of hip hop or whatever he was doing it for. But he said as far as him going every year, he said, nah, he said
He said he
I
was
gotta
only.
leave that
He
to the
said he was
new
only there
generation.
to. He said he was only there
Shout
to
out
celebrate
somebody.
the life of Mister. It's Mr.
Yeah,
C.
yeah, yeah, Mr. C. Yeah, he said, but other than that,
Yeah.
he said, that ain't me no more. And I get what he said. He ain't doing the Andre 3000 saying I can't do rap no more. He just saying that doing something like Summer Jam it just ain't for him no more.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe he
you
just.
know.
But
You
then
know.
Wu Tang always had issues with Summer Jam, even when they were younger. They always had issues with Summer Jam,
Right.
bro.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, Summer Jam had issues with them, but yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a love-hate relationship between the two. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, but that's Summer Jam's fault for not taking advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Especially when they were together and younger. But it's all good, man. Wu Tang's still packing them in.
You know what I'm upset about? Because I wasn't mad at the crowd. If you look at the caption or the comment that I left, there's words like thank you, love you, just a generation gap. I showed grace. But the feedback that it's gotten, I don't think it's fair for one. And for two, I would never point my finger at a crowd for not liking my music. That's not even it. I was there for Mr. C, and it was in New York. So I figured I'm in New York, I'm in my backyard. People know who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah, misconstrued. I wasn't mad at the crowd. That was me having a self-awareness moment. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna break my top of all that. It's the truth, though. Definitely the truth. Depends on how you speak. And there's more ignorant people in the world than smart people, and I'll leave it at that.
It's more ignorant people in the world than
Man,
smart people. You know what I mean?
man, Method
That's it.
man, Method man. Word up, Meth man. I'm glad Meth put it out there like that, cause she was
Dropped it
really
like,
trying to fish on him, and Meth just kept
yeah.
cutting off like, nope, that ain't what it was. Nope,
Yeah,
y'all just took it out of
yeah.
context, and she was trying to fish
Yeah.
on him,
But it's funny
and
because
Meth was like,
she down with meth, but she's being a journalist too.
right. And sometimes journalists go a little too deep and they go a little too far, in my opinion. But that's their job. That's their
It's their
job,
job.
and I get it.
That's their job.
Yeah, I get it. But Mess
And they might
always
be
had a
thin, but yeah.
yeah, he's always had a love-hate relationship with the media. But he's always been he doesn't Meth is more of a private. He's more private. And he don't really like he don't like the spotlight like that. Like I remember when they was calling him the sexiest man alive, and Meth said he was like, where? Like he is like his and my kids be like, Dad, where? Like I don't even see. He said I was like, yo. I don't pay attention to nothing like that, man. When he had took that picture on front of
Yeah.
GQ, and Meth was like, man, I was just doing a photo shoot. I was on there, I was on GQ. And I'm chilling. He's like, all that other stuff, y'all can keep all that. Meth don't like being in the middle or any none of that. He said it before. The Wendy
I mean,
Williams thing, when she told about his wife having cancer, he was real upset about that.
you gotta
You
think.
know,
You gotta think. If you go on the stage, if Method Man goes on the stage and it's a bunch of teenagers, they don't know who he is really. And if they do know who he is, they're like, okay, they really don't know his songs. That's for damn sure. And he's just not relevant to them at all. And that's all he said. He said verbatim, this is what he said on his tweet. He said, not our crowd at all. Thanks again. New York and the whole tri-state that showed up to the event, plus Pete and Ebro. I got love for you guys, but never again. And at this point, the generation gap is too wide for me. Never coming back. Hashtag never coming back. So,
I get it. He
I
right.
get
I
it.
get it.
He's out there on the
He
stage.
right.
Imagine he's rapping and the whole stage is just looking at him like, who the fuck is this
They
guy?
like, and they asking each other who. Some of them might know who he is,
Some of them might know who
but
he is, but
everybody,
it
yeah,
definitely
some of
ain't
them,
he ain't getting
yeah,
the love he used to.
Nah, because right now, with the stuff that he did put out and the stuff people want to hear now, like rap is the only
Oh, I'll keep it a
genre of
buck.
music where we diss our old, where we
Yeah,
just diss, where we
that's what
diss
I'm saying.
everybody that ain't new.
I'll keep it a
Like
buck. When I
that's
was a kid, when I was
yeah.
a teenager, I was young when the Chronic came out. I was a kid when the Chronic came out, young teenager. And when the Chronic came out and all that gangster shit and then all that was popping, if we were at a show like that and fucking, you know, Cool Mo D walked out and started rapping, we would have fucking clowned him. We'd have been like, nah, get the fuck out of here. And that's the vibe he's getting, which, if I'm a little older, if I'm in my 20s and Cool Mo D walks out, I'm like, hell yeah, yo, what up, kid? Yeah, like, yo, that's fucking, 50 ways, son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different thing when you're a kid. So I think he was just out there. It was a bunch of kids, and kids are not feeling the older rappers. I mean, we weren't either. And we say that it's just our thing, but if you put a bunch of
You
kids
don't
out there
appreciate it,
at
yeah.
a
You don't
Guns N'
appreciate it.
Roses concert, if a bunch of kids were out there at a Motley Crue concert in the 90s or something, and the
Oh, they
Beatles
know
came
exactly
out,
who they were.
they would
Right.
boo
They
the
know
Beatles.
exactly who they are. Yeah.
Right. But
But
they
if
would
they
boo the
but it
Beatles. They wouldn't want to hear that shit. They'd be like, get out of here with
I
that
think
shit.
I think I think that's a little too far back. But you're right. That's a little but
Oh,
if somebody said Guns N' Roses, I don't give a damn. People know who they are, they pay them homage. If you say Alice in Chains, they know who they are, young or old. Look, bro,
yeah.
I be seeing young people wearing Alice in Chains t-shirts.
Hell
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like in the early 20s, they be like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
listen to Alice in Chains. I know who
Oh,
they
my
are.
son,
But
my son is 19. He rocks Nirvana shirts, fucking Green Day shirts, all
yeah,
that.
exactly. I rock.
Mhm.
But we don't see none of
And he
our
black.
youth rocking. Right. We don't
And
see
he
none of our
black.
youth
And
rocking Run
other his
DMC.
other friends and shit be wearing rock and roll shirts and shit, and
Yeah.
they're black.
We don't
Black.
see them
Black.
rocking. We don't see nobody rocking Run DMC shirts that's young. Cool Mo D shirts, Africa Bambaataa shirts. We don't see them. Like when I was younger, and I'm gonna keep it a buck,
Oh,
I didn't like I didn't like Cool Mo D. I didn't like I wasn't into Bambaataa and them like I wasn't into
right.
to me, they were old school rappers. Like
Right.
my generation of rap starts at LL
KRS-One,
on
LL,
out, KRS,
yeah,
LL, Mob Deep, all of them. Like that's where I
Kane.
started. But my older cousins, they were into like Joeski Love and all that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I could listen to it and I thought it was okay, but it just
I
wasn't
mean, yeah, when I
it
was
just
5.
wasn't the rap. Right, yeah, it just wasn't the rap I was used to hearing because I was younger than them. I was the next generation. And for us it was Nas, De La
Right.
Soul, Wu-Tang, Ice Cube, NWA. It was all of that. That was all us. But when I got older, I'm not gonna lie, when I got about 25, 27, I started listening to that stuff and it was getting hard to find. I was like, damn, like you can't really find these albums or even on CD or cassette. So I started
Right.
listening to them. And when I went back and listened to them, like really sat down and took the time to listen, I was like, yo, this music was kind of dope. Like, why the hell
Yeah.
didn't I like it back then? Like, why?
Right.
What was it about it that I just didn't like? You throw Kumo D on there, I'm like, yo, that's Go See the Doc. That's kind of hard. Roxanne Shante, yeah, that's what started my era of rap. Shante on up, LL
Juice
Cool
Crew.
J, Beastie Boys, Juice Crew, all of
Hard.
that. That's all my era. But everybody that came before that, I was like, man, that's all right, man. And then you got to remember between New York and Philadelphia, we had different styles of hip hop, and those cities aren't that far apart. Philly had
Mhm.
their own
Right.
style, period, point blank, end of discussion.
Yeah.
They had their
Shout,
own style.
shout out to 3 times
Jersey,
dope.
dope, yeah.
Yeah.
Jersey had their own style, and New York had their own style. So like that's just what it was. Like it was so diverse, but it was all the same thing. But it was just so vastly different, but it was just the same thing.
Mhm.
It's sad to where it's at now, where everybody's the same. They rap the same, they walk the same, they talk the same. It's just sad to see it coming from where I came from with it, where we couldn't even get rap played on the radio. You be on the radio at night trying to find a rap station. Like damn, like it's 12 o'clock. Somebody playing rap. Like we didn't get rap mainstream like that, man. They had shows for about 2 hours, and that was it.
Mhm.
And Video
Yeah.
Music Box. Shout out to
Yeah.
Video Music Box.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Uncle Ralph.
Yeah,
Now,
shout out to Uncle
wow.
Ralph.
As of
Pioneer.
the after much of a storied, you all heard of the Wu-Tang One of a Kind, Once Upon a Time in
The album.
Shaolin, the bullshit album.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been the subject of ownership has issues have recently been going into the news. Current rights holder Pleaser DAO is finally making it available to the public, at least 5 minutes of it. The company has put a sampler of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin available for $1 on thealbum.com. It's called thealbum.com, TheAlbum, the album, or the album, I should say. There's no the, it's thealbum.com. Okay. $1.86 with tax. But who's counting? Listeners can shell out $1 and change, to hear the never before heard, never before released verses from Ghostface, Raekwon, Redman. There's a taste of a handful of different songs from the 2-disc, 31-track so-called album. I call it a mixtape, a compilation of collage, really, of solicited verses from unsuspecting rappers who didn't even know what they were fucking submitting their verses for. The $1 purchase supposedly is for the entire record, but listeners can only hear excerpts for now. So you're actually buying the whole thing, but they're releasing it bit by bit. In a press release,
Come on, man.
yeah,
What is up with that? With
yeah.
this album?
Well, on top of that, fucking Martin Scarelli, the pharma bro, the guy who bought the thing for $2 million from Wu, they temporarily, a federal judge temporarily barred him from streaming or disseminating copies of the Wu-Tang album that he had forfeited as part of his criminal fraud conviction. So he forfeited that album. It was like one of his assets that he had to give up in his fraud conviction in 2017.
Yeah.
But now the order by the judge on Tuesday night came in a day after the company had bought the album for $4.75 million and sued Scarelli in district court in Brooklyn. Why they're paying this much money for this album, I'll never understand. Real fans, we don't even give a fuck about it. We know that the Wu-Tang members themselves have said they don't give a fuck about it. They said, like, Method Man even said that he was pissed about it. He said, first of all, this guy Silver Rings produced the thing. RZA didn't produce it.
Yeah,
Silver Rings produced it. He basically solicited them for verses. Like they would email him a verse here and there. He never would tell them what it's for. And it was just, they felt that was bullshit, that they weren't able to collaborate together like they did on past albums, come up with the concept, as a team, as the clan, create their album together. They didn't like how this was done. They felt it was underhanded. They weren't appreciative of it. And so, they're not happy about it. And, that's enough for me to be like, I don't give a fuck. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn and CBC said no comment on Wednesday when they asked her if prosecutors were taking action against Scarelli in response to the claims in the civil suit by the Cayman Islands-based company Pleaser DAO. It's Pleaser DAO that's now selling the album for $1 a hit and giving you little shots of it. But they said additional music from the album will become available as Pleaser works with the original artists to deliver it to the owners of the encrypted album over the coming weeks. So if you bought the album for $1 or whatever it is, they're trying to get the songs released, I guess. It's thealbum.com and a message displays on the sampler page. It says, on March 2nd, 2015, RZA and Silver Rings brought together 150 art experts, rap fans, and potential buyers to present a unique listening session of a sample of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. And it reads, the sampler was never played publicly again until now. Pleaser DAO explained on X.
That I remember,
Yeah, I remember that shit. And that each sale of Shaolin is going to bring the countdown to the release 88 seconds closer than its contractual one. Each copy of the album is encrypted and is tradable by $album. That's their trade thing. And there's no word on whether the album will ever release to streaming or physical in full, at least in this century. But the release of the sampler appears to be a workaround for the restrictions placed on the initial sale. Shaolin was initially sold in 2015 to the notorious pharma bro Martin Shkreli as part of the terms. The double album could not commercially be exploited in full or played to the public for 88 years for whatever reason. Shkreli tried to sell the album on eBay in 2017. He did get a winning bid of $1 million on eBay when he tried to sell it, but the sale was canceled after Shkreli was convicted of securities fraud, and it never got sold. And then the government auctioned off the album in 2021 to Please or Die, which acquired the project with 2 payments over the years, totaling $4.75 million. Recently, Shaolin's been the hot topic as Please or Die accused Shkreli of holding on to copies of the album, and he did. He's got copies. Trust me.
Yeah, he got to. He's a villain.
Mhm.
He's a villain. Well, what villain don't have backups?
Exactly.
Shit, if I had it, I have backups. Like,
Hell yeah, I'm gonna get a copy of it. Yeah, what you mean? Shit. But
That's
I
why-
paid $2 million of my money, man.
that's why that sale was so irregular, because you're like, okay, this is an album that no one's gonna hear but the owner.
Right.
You want the owner. Once you own something, it's yours to do what you will with it.
Right.
But I guess the
But contract said you can't do this when you buy it.
But there's a workaround with the contract, because you could say, I was under duress. I want to share this with you. I was under duress to sign this contract. I want the whole world to listen to this. This is a magnificent piece. I'm under duress. Contract nullified. Contract nullified. As soon as you say you're under duress, because that means you're forced to do something that against your will, contract nullified. You can work that into the court. That's all.
Okay.
I did this under duress. I really want everybody. I wanted my boys to have copies. We wanted to bump this in the systems. Then what they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're selling it after, then that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to make a profit, and you know what I mean. Still, if you're the owner, you should be able to do what you want with it under ownership. No one else should impede on your ownership at all.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. But I mean, when you make an agreement, you make an agreement. I think it was contractual. Like if he did try to do this, it was actually in the contract that no matter what, if he tried to do this or that, he would, it would be like legal shit.
Yeah.
So,
but even that, the legal terms, man, once you say you're under duress for anything,
well, you have to prove duress. You can't just claim duress. You have to claim. You have to prove it. And how you gonna be under duress when you're at an auction buying it in front of a bunch of other people at an auction? Who's bidding on it at an auction?
Well, I'm saying the initial buyer at an auction. Okay, you say, okay, I want this piece. All right,
they had to agree to the terms before they went into the auction and bid on it.
Always agree at the time, but then you can always claim
go back on it.
Yeah, you can still claim like you didn't have total understanding on the terms. You were confused by the terms.
I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that's gonna hold up in court.
If you pay a lawyer,
but I didn't understand that though.
Yeah, I didn't understand this. I thought I owned it so I can do what I want, despite their terms, which seems to be unfair to me as the new owner.
Well,
now, can they say they run my household? I own my house. Can they say they run it after they sell it to me? No. See what I'm saying? There's so many arguments that can be played out. It just takes money and the lawyer time. That's all it does. That's all it takes.
All right.
If I had the money, I would have had that, and I would have been done, But like you said, it's a mixtape, man. It's a mixtape filled with tracks that they didn't use for various albums during the years, remixed and refabricated, pieced together. I know how silver rings work because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Stuff RZA didn't use for a Wu-Tang Forever because he had over 100 joints for Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah.
Over that. For what was it? For Wu-Tang, the initial 36 Chambers, he had more tracks. Dude was on extra level workload. So You know what I'm saying? They got a culmination of even the same verses. Some of the verses are the same that people heard before. It's over different tracks. How I know? That's how you do it. Like, yo, I'm gonna feed you some bullshit and get paid from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was, but it's all
Yeah.
unreleased. It's all unheard tracks. It's all new shit. It's all new shit that no one's ever heard before. That's the whole thing
Or
behind it.
is it? Or is it? Because you'll never hear it.
Well, according to Method Man, and I think it was Meth and Ghost. They submitted the tracks, but they didn't know what it was for. They weren't told this is for this album or that album. It was just they were like, "Oh, RZA needs a track for this," or Silver Ring will hit him up, be like, "Yo, I need a track for this
Was
mixtape
it
I'm
a
doing," or
track
something
or a
like that.
verse? Because it's
A
different.
verse, yeah, a verse, or yeah, they would get like a verse at a time, and he was putting it together. That's what I'm saying. It's songs pieced together with random verses that was sent in, not even knowing what song they go to. So they're basically freestyle. That's why I say it's a mixtape.
Yeah.
It's freestyle
And
shit because
they
it's
could
not
be
written.
adding to old shit too. Like I
Yeah,
mean, old and new, you know what I'm saying?
it could be, and the whole thing was that it's Silver Ring's beats and all of that. It's like I don't know. It's just not. It's not even nothing that. At first, when I first heard about the shit, I was like, "Oh, that's the illest shit I ever heard. That's a dope idea and all of that." But once because I've heard some of the album, I've heard some of the songs, and none of it was impressive. I was not like, "Oh, this is dope." Like, I was like, "Really? That's
Mm.
Mm.
that's
Yeah, I
the
heard some
song?"
of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
sonically, right? It's off.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound like Wu-Tang. It doesn't sound
Yeah.
appealing at all.
It's
It
like he
don't
took
sound.
and remix parts of whatever he got from RZA and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna create this sound or try to emulate the sound." It's just a whole bunch of shit, man. But
Mhm.
hey, I don't know who got paid off of it though. Initially,
Well, that's the
Everybody.
thing. They no, they didn't. That's another thing. That's another reason they were mad because they never got no money for it or nothing.
see, that's the
And yeah, it was all some bullshit. How I think Divine and RZA did something with the money. I don't know what, but they never got no money for it or nothing. They were pissed about it. It's
well.
on one of the documentaries. They were talking shit about it.
Well, that's also grounds to hold up the album sales or anything because you can't give out work without getting paid. That's enrichment
Yeah,
under you
yeah,
know
exactly.
you can't
Yeah,
do that. So
yeah. If they wanted to, they
stop
could they
it.
could do something about it.
Stop
Yeah,
the album. I
yeah,
ain't get paid for this, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I want my cut.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, on to DC Comics, y'all. We got oh no. The Creature Commandos is actually going to be directly picking up directly after the first season of Peacemaker. Because remember how
Mm.
so the DCU, right? This new universe, it's all new shit that's not connected to the old DC EU. But Peacemaker, I think the second season or some shit is canon, and it's actually connecting into James Gunn's universe. He did make Peacemaker as well, so he's connecting it in. And this Creature Commandos is an animated movie or show, rather. It's a series, and it is actually picking up directly after the first season um, of the DC EU series Peacemaker, and that's kind of crazy. But as far as Creature Commandos goes, that's the first joint in the new thing, the new DC, the new DC universe. But yeah, continuity is definitely the key word. You know what I'm saying? And the Creature Commandos, they had the first look held at the what is it called? The Annecy Animation Festival. The execs were there. Warner Brothers Animation pulled back the curtain on the first series and developed and produced with Peter Safran and James Gunn there. And the continuity will be both narrative and stylistic, with the animated series planned as a direct follow-up to the Suicide Squad version, the second Suicide Squad, the one that James Gunn did, and the Peacemaker show. And then you got the creature designs and all of that for the animation are going to be, keeping their same looks once they, come to the live action versions and all of that. You'll see the same shit because it's all going to be connected. The Superman movie reboot and all of that, Waller, the spinoff, all of that. And yeah, he did this presentation on Friday with the video, little video introduction recorded from the Atlanta soundstage, now doubling for Metropolis, and once again relaying his vision, for an interconnected cross media, cross genre narrative universe spanning different features and theories and video games and all that shit, cartoons, and but Gunn's voice was there throughout every element of the series, presenting the whole presentation, and not only because he wrote all 7 episodes of the Creature Commandos, but basically, in short, Creature Commandos builds on a very familiar trademark tone, marrying like irreverence with a deeper love for like classic monsters, Hollywood monsters, Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon, shit like that. And if Warner Brothers Animation, VP Peter Garardi never mentioned that other integrated comic book universe by name, simply mentioning that Creature Commandos actor David Harbour, who played the sheriff in Stranger Things, might have turned up in a different fantasy franchise before becoming Frankenstein for the DCU. And so he's going to be Frankenstein in the Creature Commandos show. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty dope show, but especially given the musical identity outlined by Gunn in the video, the creative little video, dated to 2022 and shared by the Warner Brothers execs on stage. In the memo outlined the series' thematic ambitions, describing the project as dark, humorous, but never goofy and unsentimental, an adult-themed show with political storylines. So it's supposedly going to be very mature and have sort of darker elements and stuff like that. No finished footage was screened. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen any of it, but an early storyboarded sequence was there, and you had Rick Flag Sr. was there, who is voiced by Frank Grillo. Um, who else? And then Dr. Phosphorus was on there, and um, the second storyboarded sequence had a more comedic beat. It had your GI Robot, played by Sean Gunn, the brother of James Gunn, bonding with the Fish Woman, Nina Mazursky, played by Zoe Chow, in the between missions. But yeah, it looks pretty good, and so far it's going to be the first DCU project that we're going to get to see. So, but it's not the first. It's the first project. Period. The first movie is going to be Superman, and James Gunn may not have shared a new look at the Superman. What do you call it, on the Superman day? But there is a new set video. We saw some of the set. We don't see any of Superman, but we do see some of the set, and I got that for y'all, I think, right here.
Check this out from the Menor Headlands. 3 news camera crews captured this scene there yesterday. Oh, what's happening? Tense camera equipment on a closed off section of the beach. We don't know what they're working on there, but we do know a project called Genesis is believed to be a new Superman movie set to begin filming in Northeast Ohio any day now.
Genesis.
Oh, so that's training.
But that's Mr. Terrific you saw there.
Yeah.
Them fighting and shit. Yeah. Doing a little wire work and shit. It says Mr. Terrific taking down a bunch of people with his T-sphere. This Superman movie will be more action-packed than any other Superman film before it. So yeah,
I
that's,
need an action-packed Superman movie in my life.
you know what I mean? I've been waiting for this. I think it's gonna be good. I mean, a lot of people aren't so confident, but James Gunn ain't done shit that I haven't liked yet. So I don't expect it to start now for no reason. Like
Yeah,
these are dope ideas, concepts, it all. I mean, even we've even seen him in DC, so it's not like even new fucking territory for him.
exactly. It would be unexpected if he bombed.
That would be crazy. Yeah, I would be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
The only major reveal came from the set photos, a glimpse of an engineer. We did get a first look at the super suit. Yeah, we saw that image with the guy putting on his boots with the baggy suit. I was not. I didn't really like the costume, but
I think Elon Musk should play Lex Luthor from now on.
just shave his head and play Lex.
Yeah, because he's the real life Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe so. He's the real life one.
yeah,
He's a wild villain.
yeah, yeah. Well, Creature Commandos though, we did learn when it's going to be released here. The what do you call it? Release date. The release date month was revealed at the thing. Where is it? It was Friday, and the first project detail panel controversial reports that they've been delayed to 2025, and Gunn saying that it had not. Now it's firmly confirmed that the DCU slate releases starts in December with Creature Commandos. So this December we will get to see the Creature Commandos, and it's has it's like some weird offbeat strange kind of characters, monster characters and shit like that, and it's a very unique in that it's the first attempt to launch a cinematic universe with an animated TV show to start it off instead of a major movie. I'm not sure what the strategy is there or why he's made that choice, but it is unique. And he's also, James Gunn mentioned the possibility that characters from the animated Creature Commandos would pop up in live action DCU projects. Now that would be a first for characters, first to come in as animated characters and then be manifested in live action. And I think that's a dope idea because we always love to see animated characters in live action when it's done well. But anyone invested in staying as informed about the DCU as possible will likely want to stay up with the date with Creature Commandos to get any potential glimpses at what the future franchise might hold. And the latest details on the show come from James Gunn himself, who has assured fans that Creature Commandos is still on schedules for release this year. Is not going to go into 2025. It's barely going to make it. It's going to hit December apparently, but we'll see. But yeah, Gunn did mention the show is on schedule. He didn't give the exact date when to expect it, but aside from updates on the release, several of the show's stars have been given some interesting insights into the show, like James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn, who recently gave an update saying that his two characters that he's playing are complete opposites, and he hinted at some heavy emotional moments for G.I. Robot, who is one of the characters he's playing, and then Frank Grillo, who will play Rick Flag Sr., confirmed that Creature Commandos will be hard R. Talking about the rating. In terms of so the rating, and then this means that the show will be geared towards a more adult audience. So it's a cartoon, it's animated, but it's not a kid's cartoon. Even though it's comic books, even though it's Hollywood monsters, it's definitely geared towards a more adult audience, with a hard R for violence, language, whatever. And this, also meant that Creature Commandos may not be as integral to the larger DCU, because shit like Peacemaker and shit like that, where something as like Superman won't be quite as linked to something, since you have a more limited audience starting off with that hard R-rated project also makes it kind of clear that this new DCU, this new universe, is not going to shy away from more adult content, which is very, for me, guys, like, one of the things that I loved about Snyder's universe and Man of Steel and all that was that it did have a sort of more mature, maybe a little more adult, take on shit.
Mm.
And so I was worried that James Gunn was gonna go a little too whimsical or be too kiddie or kid friendly or maybe not be, but no, he's that. I mean, if Peacemaker is any fucking or even Suicide Squad is any clue of what the type of shit that he's gonna do, even Guardians of the Galaxy isn't super fucking G rated. So he's definitely, and Brightburn, give me a break. So he's definitely he's known for doing hardcore shit. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I know a lot of people are worried about DC and what's going to happen. I'm not even worried, dog. I think it's in good hands, bro. And I think the plans, the shit I'm hearing makes sense. On March 6th, in a response to a question about the status of the show, James Gunn confirmed on Threads that the animatics for Creature Commandos are cut and finalized. And Gunn also made clear that the show's animation team is working on the final product, which is a good timing. And this process will take time, but the animatics being locked in is a good sign at this point. Since this means that the show is essentially fully outlined, there won't be any major changes to the story, which is what will often delay movies and shit like that. And in the same discussion, Gunn again confirmed that Creature Commandos will be coming out in 2024. That's where he said, not to worry, it's not going to 2025. But there's no solid date or anything like that. And then Sean Gunn's recent comments on his experience voicing Weasel, because he also voices Weasel in Suicide Squad, also make it clear that he has recorded his lines for the show already. So there's just really some finalizing shit to do. A lot of it's done, but typically the voice acting is finished before the final animation. So, it'd be safe to assume that the rest of the voice cast of Creature Commandos also has recorded their lines. So, it's pretty much in the can, as they say. And the Creature Commandos cast is definitely a mixture of new and returning actors to this world of DC. Viola Davis as Waller, Steve Agee and Sean Gunn are reprising their roles from the Suicide Squad as Amanda Waller, John Economos, and Weasel, respectively. Gunn will also have an additional role as G.I. Robot. And Alan Tudyk, who previously was in the show Doom Patrol, will be playing a different character, Dr. Phosphorus. So David Harbour, like I said, from Stranger Things, is going to be Frankenstein. Frank Grillo is Rick Flag. Who else? Nobody else that we would know, really. And then Creature Commandos, the team would most likely be led by Rick Flag Sr., who's kind of, like a hardcore, kind of like a Nick Fury kind of guy. And Grillo, and David Harbour, and Anne Maria Baklava, have some superhero experience already. They've all done roles with Marvel and the MCU and shit like that. Grillo was Brock Romolo, Crossbone. Harbour played Red Guardian, and in Black Widow movie, and then Balaklava worked with Creature Commando showrunner James Gunn on the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where she voiced Cosmo the dog. And then Indira Varma hasn't played any superhero roles, but she does have extensive voice acting experience. She was in Legend of Vox Machina. I don't know if you guys seen that. But yeah. And Zoe Chow is similarly new to the superhero world, but her experience in comedies like The After Party and Party Down will likely make her a good fit for that comedic tone that Gunn is known for. And then Anaya Charlotta is another newcomer to DC and superhero projects alike, but her role as Yennefer in The Witcher has some strong parallels to Cersei, her character in Creature Commandos, and because that was a dope role in The Witcher. But the story itself, like official, details on the story, are very, very scarce. Not much there, unless you're pretty much judging by what the comics had. But the show's general premise has been announced officially. The team will be assembled by Amanda Waller, much like
The other
Task Force X, aka Suicide Squad, for like some Black Ops missions. But the creature commandos are typically more willing participants in DC Comics. They're not going to have to be kept in line with bombs in their brains. But it's unclear if there's going to be any connection between the two similar teams, aside from Rick Flag Sr., who is the father of the now deceased Suicide Squad leader Rick Flag Jr. The inclusion of both Amanda Waller and John Economos also would suggest that there will be some connection to Gunn's previous DC works, The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, because those are all the same characters. And since the announcement of the character Cersei's addition to the show came after the original team was announced, a lot of people have speculated that this means that Cersei will be a villain or possibly even the main antagonist for the series. But more details will likely be made clear as it gets closer to the release date, and some trailer and shit like that will be coming out pretty soon here.
I'll be glad when it does, man. We keep hearing about it, but we don't hear no dates. Nothing.
That's how he works.
Yep, and that's how and that's how I be with animated shit too.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. But I can't wait. I like James Gunn. I like his style of directing. I like the way he bring it. And I like to see more stuff from him like this. So I'm glad he does have his job, and I'm glad he is doing the damn thing, because he would have never got that shot at Marvel. Never. They would have just did whatever they could do with him, and he'd have just been doing whatever else. But I'm glad he's got a shot to really bring something special.
Kevin Feige's not going to give him his job. You know what I mean? Like, basically, Gunn is the Kevin Feige of DC. So he could only be.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. But
he could never be.
No,
Kevin
that's true.
Feige
But I'm just
Marvel.
saying, like,
no, you're right.
But he'll like Guardians at Marvel. Yeah, no, I know you are. But I'm saying at Marvel, he'll always be known for Guardians of the Galaxy, if they ever do another one. And that's it. So like seeing him doing another superhero movie project, and like you said, him being the Kevin Feige of DC is even better. But he seems to be a lot more involved in Feige, like with these projects, and he's a lot more deeply, rooted in them. I think he's.
Well, he doesn't have those women over him telling him what to do.
And Feige, from my understanding, is he's just a producer. He's not like a really.
Well, you have like
real
Victoria. You had the Victoria Alonso was really the one making the fucking calls, and Kathleen Kennedy and shit over there at Disney. Yeah. I mean, Marvel is owned by Disney, so
yeah. So I mean, when you have somebody that's on the ground doing the work, getting busy in the dirt, as opposed to someone who stays in their castle above everybody else and says, "Hey, you do this, you do that, cool," and then takes the credit when everything is done. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna look at him a type of way. So yeah, James Gunn is that dude. You know what I mean? So when he's in the room and Feige or whatever they call him is in the room, he feels smaller. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, I got real talent next to me, and I am trying to take the credit for the real talent. When it's the real talent who should be taking all the credit.
Right.
It's that age-old shit, man,
Yeah, man. Somebody's over there on the set with their cell phone filming shit, fucking sending shit back. Look.
Hey, that's promotion, right? That's allowable by what you call it. That's his way of telling you this is what's getting done.
Yeah.
So we like it. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, we
So
did.
Yeah, because
he's not gonna give you verbiage that you want. He's just like, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you some outtakes. I'm gonna show you whatever. And yeah, we're getting busy. Now leave me
yeah,
alone.
because if you look, at the Blade movie, they keep saying we getting the Blade. But I don't know if that movie's ever gonna get made. And the last movie we saw that went through that much trouble was The Flash, and look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Man, that shit was doomed as soon as they cast what's his name twice.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they should have just reshot it, took him out, put Gus in there. It would have got. I'm not gonna say it'd have been movie of the year, but it'd have been a lot more receptive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, can't win them all, man. You can't. You just gotta. I don't know, man. You just gotta. I think the fans should just, you know, you do what you got to do with your money. You know, if you don't like it, don't go. If you like it, go. You know what I'm saying? That speaks more volumes to those producers, and that's in anything and everything, man. You know, you speak with your dollars because you go into it and you still pay your money for some subpar shit. They're gonna feel, oh, they like this subpar shit. Let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. We're doing the cheapest shit possible, and they still love it. We're gonna keep doing it. But if you don't go, they're gonna be like, oh shit, they don't like it. Oh, and it's not about the people liking it, it's just like the shareholders don't like it because they're not getting paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once them shareholders start getting in the ear and tugging at the tails, like, look, man, we losing money here. What the fuck are y'all doing over there? Yeah, then we gotta make some changes. Oh, they don't like that woke stuff, man. We need to get our money. We don't care about woke, unwoke, awake, dead. We want the money.
Bottom line. That's it.
Like my man said from the 5 Deadly Venoms. The money. We want the money. He's like,
Yeah.
The scorpion.
You want the money.
The military. Yeah.
The money.
That's all it's about. So give the people what they want, you're gonna get the money. You don't give them what they want, then the people should hold their dollars back and bomb. Yeah, man. But I think DC is gonna have a very strong showing. Because at this point, Marvel is still reeling from idiocy.
Yeah, well, Gunn just gave us another little set photo from the Superman movie. It's kind of like a little it's just a picture of the farm, the Kent family farm.
Awesome.
And you know, it's just basically a field and shit, but it's a nice pic, and the photo is only tagged with a film emoji. No words, but several comments under the post have remarked about the special location, and Gunn hasn't bothered to debunk them, which is something he would do. Definitely, he's definitely one of the most interactive filmmakers with the fans, and that's really what's given him a big following in Hollywood right now. He's not scared to get on and just talk to people on threads and Twitter and shit like that. And this is one of the many set photos that have been released since filming for Superman that began earlier this year. But yeah, it's from the time that it was first announced that David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan would be playing Clark Kent and Lois Lane nearly 1 year ago in June last year, 2023. Casting for Superman, formerly Superman Legacy, has been going on. And the most recent additions to the cast came less than a week ago. You had Michaela Hoover and Christopher McDonald officially joining the cast as Daily Planet co-workers Kat Grant and Ron Troop, respectively. Mere days before that, it was also confirmed that the Saturday Night Live actor Beck Bennett also had joined the ever-growing Daily Planet newsroom in Gunn's rendition of Superman. So there'll be a full Daily Planet cast, Jimmy Olsen, the whole nine. It's going to be a fully fleshed out fucking Superman universe, unlike we've ever seen in any film before. It's going to be super comic book fucking vibe, super comic heavy. And that's what I'm excited about. That's what I think Gunn does so well, is this shit's going to really seem and feel like comics, whereas a lot of the MCU and shit like that just doesn't at all. And here's the little shot of the farm.
Okay.
Just a field, but shit, filmmakers don't even do that. So that's big.
No.
Man, see, no
Nowhere
one
near that,
dropped.
man.
And look at the rays in the sky.
Yep, he's just giving you the vibe and everything with this shot. I mean,
Yeah.
he's giving you a lot with this shot. It's not just about the location. He's showing you the vibe and everything.
But I hear the Superman Christopher Reeve song in my head when I see this.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Word.
Yeah.
Might have to watch that tonight. Fuck it.
Oh,
I gotta watch some Superman 1.
definitely, man.
That movie's a classic, bro. You can't. I don't think I could ever get tired of that movie, bro.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I love the Lex Luthor theme, man. That right there, that's just
Hackman.
like doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
That shit is dope. Yeah, it's so dope. I bought the soundtrack, man. Like,
I got the soundtrack too.
Yo, this shit is tough. You know what I'm saying? Put that on, you start getting creative. Like, okay, what diabolical shit am I going to create today?
James Gunn has done a lot more than sharing updates on Superman. He recently also announced that Frank Grillo, previously confirmed to play Frank, the Rick Flag Sr. dude in Creature Commandos, is also going to be Rick Flag in live action in Peacemaker season 2.
Okay,
so that's dope. That's dope. And he also posted a photo of the back of John Cena's head to commemorate the start of filming for the second season of Peacemaker. Another highly anticipated DC project after the first season premiered to nearly flawless reviews, landing 94% from critics and 89% from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. Peacemaker was well loved, and this is why I'm confused as to why any fans are like at all fucking concerned that this man does not know what he's doing. You've loved everything he's done. You've loved everything James Gunn has done. I'm telling you, everything he's done, you fucking liked it.
Yeah. I mean, people like to be contrary. People want contrary. Yeah. You know, people just want that. You know, like I can't be happy. You know, it's like people want to be over people threatening people. If this don't turn out right, we're gonna have a problem. Like, let the man do his work. Yeah, it'd be a problem.
Listen, it takes a while. Yeah, it takes a while to make a movie, and we know 2 years. You know, but with production and everything, we know it takes roughly about 2 years to make a movie. But he's going to put out, something good, and he's going to put something out. Period, because that's what he was hired to do. We had setbacks with COVID and some other stuff, but all in all, come 2025, you better get ready. Buckle your seatbelts because it's on the popping after that.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's gonna be. I mean, I've liked everything he's done. I've liked Guardians. I've liked Peacemaker. I've liked Suicide Squad. I like Brightburn. I liked everything he's done. I've liked it. And Superman is a character whose films I've not ever felt like they didn't ever feel like comic books to me. They just felt like it's like Superman's in the movie. But what if you took that and gave us that same experience you got from the comics with Superman? What would that make other fans? Because I know a lot of people aren't really fans of Superman because they feel like, is he's goody or he's boring or he's a Boy Scout or it's not exciting or whatever. But fans of Superman in the comics know better. Yeah. They know the character's dope. They know all the cool shit. They know because the comics, Superman is pretty cool in the comics. It's not like in the movies. And I think Gunn is going to give us a better a better movie, a more comic book Superman, and I think that will make fans of Superman. And like for me, Man of Steel was the first Superman movie that I was ever like, oh shit, like this is dope. Like I really love this, and I might be a fan of Superman now, type shit. Like this was amazing.
Yeah.
And then that's no more. So
Mm.
who else can do it? Who else is gonna, and without making it dark, but also without making it, backpedal into the campy, corny Superman movies that we always got before Man of Steel. Instead of backpedaling, how can you do it where you're still moving forward, you're still keeping that sort of mature tone, and it's simple. It's you just translate the
Speed it up a
comics.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
you
other
just you
Superman
just
movies,
put
although
the
they're
comics
good,
on film.
yeah, and they're good, but they're dialogue heavy. They're very dialogue heavy. Um, movies have advanced past that now with special effects and everything. Where like we were talking the other day about Star Wars. George Lucas even said it. It was like, look, we couldn't do those slow lightsaber battles anymore, so we sped it up, and people loved it, and they made it more exciting. And that's just right. We got to make it more exciting, more action packed, more of the superhero, and less of the actor's face out there. And we just like, all right, oh, we got to see such and such on there,
Yeah.
act like Superman, but
Well, I
we
want
want
to
to see
see it.
him.
I want to see more comic book. I want it to be more like a comic book in that
Yeah.
there's the shit that happens in comics. There's multiple different superheroes that come through. It's different shit that goes on. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
just
Oh,
Superman
we definitely need that.
uh
Yeah, we
saving
definitely need that.
a lady falling
Yeah.
off a building type shit. Like where's the real villains? Where's the real other characters and shit like that we see in fucking Bruce Timm's work? Animated Superman movies are even
And villains that
Yeah.
don't get along with other villains. Like,
right.
Yeah.
all villains don't need to team up together and be like, yeah, we're on the same. No, these motherfuckers don't get along either.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made James Gunn's Suicide Squad so good, because those fucking characters didn't really get along. They didn't like each other. They didn't
Yeah.
care for each other. They were just put together like, man, I gotta be with this motherfucker. Oh, whatever.
Mhm.
I don't like him.
Just like the comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Like
like the comic.
Guardians of the
But
Galaxy, same thing.
yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. But everybody. I think that's everybody wants to see more comic book, themed things. Like we all want it, man. We're tired of the Hollywood formula. We tired of the happy go lucky superhero and the villain that we're just tired of the villain that could also be a good guy, maybe, the anti villain, hero villain. We want an evil villain who wants to rule the world or wants $1 million, something like that. And we want, we want a superhero that's gritty, but also you can believe like damn, that was believable. Like I like that. You know, we got to take it to another level. It's time for a new formula. Hopefully, James Gunn is
Yeah.
it. Hopefully, he's that new formula that we need to bring it into, give us what we like.
Well, they're also doing TV shows and shit too. And he recently announced that the Green Lantern series, The Lanterns, is putting together a team of writers working based on a series Bible by Chris Mundy, Tom King, and Damon Lindelof. And if you know anything about Tom King, amazing comic writer, really dope Batman run that he did. But yeah, he said yes, it's true. The Lanterns DCU series is putting together a crack team of writers based on a wonderful pilot script and Bible by Chris Mundy, Tom King, and Damon Lindelof. A hearty welcome to Chris and Damon Lindelof as they join the DC Studios family. No welcome necessary for Tom King, as he's been here nearly since its inception. Because Tom King has been an amazing one of the DC OGs. And Superman is due to hit theaters on July 11th next year, so a year from next month. And check out the new set photo that I'm going to show you here with the what do you call it, Peacemaker, or the damn, now it's gone. Damn it. Oh, the Batman Arkham Shadow. Y'all seen that shit? The
The game.
Yeah,
Yeah, some type crazy shit, man.
yeah.
Dope.
I mean, if you, I don't know. I think it's fucking VR and shit.
Yeah.
I think it is VR, yeah. But I
Yeah,
do know Rocksteady, um, with the failure of Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, they put out a statement saying they're gonna go back to their roots, what they're good at, making these single player action packed
yeah,
superhero games based on certain superheroes in the DC universe. A lot of the devs that worked at Rocksteady said that were quoted as saying that when they were making the game, they couldn't understand why Captain Boomerang, who has these awesome boomerangs that he uses to commit crimes and destroy his foes, why he would have to pull out a gun in order
right.
to defeat his foes, whoever they would be. Um, they said Harley they could understand, Deadshot they could understand, but
Mm.
some of the other villains they just couldn't understand how they could, how they, it was just they said it was just a gun based game. It was more about the guns than it was about the characters.
Mm.
And they said they kept asking about it, and they said the studio kept pushing it. And when it came out, it failed. It just nobody just
Mm,
everybody wanted to play the characters and use their powers, but they just couldn't the way they wanted to. So they're gonna put out. They're supposedly they put out statements saying that they are working on a new game. And we know Rocksteady is very, very, very secretive. They wouldn't tell us what it was or who it was about. There
mm,
are rumors that it is a Superman game that they have been working on for years, and we've just never seen it. They
mm,
give hints to it
mm,
in Arkham
mm.
City and Arkham Knight,
Yeah.
but
Do you think so?
we've never seen. We just never. I really think they got something in the works. I don't know if they got a working title, but I think they got something in the works.
Yeah.
Um, and some of the, and I think it was Arkham City. If you're Batman, you stand on the buildings. You can listen to the criminals talk when you're not engaged with them. And
Mm,
in one of the conversations, they were talking about Superman and Metropolis and how shiny it was over there, how bright it
yeah.
was, and and they said, well, you can't step foot in there and commit a crime without Soup knowing.
Mm.
And even in Arkham, was it Arkham Knight, they were quoted about one of the guys was saying how Superman, caught him trying to rob a bank over there where he had like a I don't know what he had. He had like a helicopter or something. He said Superman, ran down on him and locked him up. And he said, oh man, but they keep saying that they do have a Superman game in the works, or they have
Mm.
plans of making one, but just haven't made it yet. So I do
That'll be
hope,
dope.
I do hope that we get one. I do
That'll be
hope that
dope.
we do it. Rocksteady's they're just secretive like that, and I like their character designs, brother. They're
Yeah.
dope for the characters. I like that European look that they give all the villains. That's just dope.
Mm.
Speaking of video games, we're finally getting gameplay of the first ever open world Star Wars game called Outlaws. It's set between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Mm.
Uh, it's I'm not mad that the main characters are female. I'm just a little bit mad that you can't choose a male or a
Right. That.
female
Thank
character.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
also I think or at least that you could create your own character. That would be great. That's I feel it's kind of lame to have an open world game where you got to play as one specific person, and the fact that it's like a 19-year-old girl that's supposed to be like a hardened Han Solo outlaw, it's kind of hard to believe, but the game itself looks amazing. The character is Kay Vess. She's an emerging scoundrel, a young scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life, along with her companion Nyx, little creature, little animal. And you get to fight, steal, and outwit your way through the galaxy's crime syndicates as you join the galaxy's most wanted. And you go and you look for certain gangsters and different, like a gangster that's good at fucking, I don't know, card games, right? And you learn how to play and hustle cards from this guy. And then you go seek out a gangster that's good at stealing speeders, right? And he shows you how to hotwire speeders, and you learn that from him. And then you go learn, shit like that. And you get to explore different planets. I'm really excited because this is the first game where you actually get to go get in your spaceship, guys, fly off in that motherfucker, and then fly around in space and shoot at other spaceships, do all that shit, maneuver around, go fly to planets you want to fly to, and go land on that planet, get out and walk around.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
what
Enter
the
the
fuck I'm talking
atmosphere. Yeah,
man,
yeah.
because games before this have either done one of the two. There's one game, No Man's Sky, where you can fly around and go to different planets. It was boring. There's no game. There's nothing there. And then there's fucking Mass Effect, where you can fly to different planets, but it's a cutscene when you're flying from when you fly from planet
Yeah.
to planet. The cutscene. Destiny, same way. It's a cutscene when you fly your ship. This one, you not only get to fly to the other planets, but you get to fly around, shoot at other starfighters, like have star fights and all of that kind of shit. So you're, you know, basically my point is that you're really maneuvering and flying the ship. It's not a fucking trick. Because I think in Destiny you can make the ship like go left and right or
Nah,
something.
you can't do nothing with it.
You could
It's
just
just a
make it kind of
cutscene.
move.
It's just a
One of them you could
cutscene.
just
It move
one
on
of them
as
you can make it move.
I think that was Mass Effect. You can move the
Yeah,
ship
yeah.
around, but it was still a
And
cutscene.
it's still a cutscene. But this one, you know, you've got your, you know, kind of like an outlaw lifestyle. You're you know, gunslinging and, you know, hustling and going in cantinas and, you know, card games and all that kind of shit. You got your little Nix, your little companion by your side, and you know, you're supposed to basically turn these weird situations into your advantage and do shit. Sorry, what were you saying?
This is all strictly for online play, or is it?
No. This is solo. This is like one player fucking real campaign shit. This is not an MMO. This is
Okay.
real. Yeah,
Oh,
you really playing a real solo game. And we got the gameplay. I got like 10 minutes of gameplay footage. It's
Alright.
brilliant.
I want to check that out. Yeah, because those games are lacking. Like you know, having those type of games, man.
You're right. At the top, where it should be.
This is dope because you're looking at this old school game, like old school graphics and shit. But this is like a video game that you're playing in the video game.
Okay. Ah, yeah. Reminds you of that old Star Wars game.
Yes.
At the top, where it should be. Let's go next.
Oh.
I get
graphically,
Cyberpunk.
it looks
Yeah,
amazing.
Cyberpunk. Yeah, I
It's
get
not even done.
Cyberpunk vibes.
Cyberpunk and what you call it, Blade Runner.
Right, yeah, but and yes, dude, that's right. It's not even done. This is like a beta. This is like an alpha.
Oh wow.
This ain't even a beta. Yeah, this is just a sample.
Okay.
Today, we'll show you different type of adventure. And as we journey across multiple systems, we will come across many
Oh
opportunities.
shit.
Look at this shit, man.
Yeah,
Fuck.
look dope, man. Look at all the detail and everything going on.
Using experts scattered across the
Hell
world.
yeah. See?
These experts will help Kay pick up new skills to survive in the world.
Ah, skins.
Well, he's a Darth Maul type.
So you hear what he said? He said they help you find new skills in the underworld. And no, they're not skin. These are actually characters that you meet. These are experts. Like this is a bartender, right? And you got to meet this guy, and he's going to teach you something about the underworld. And you
Okay.
got to seek out these different underworld figures, and they teach you something else about, you know, being an outlaw, I guess.
Awesome.
Yes.
Survive in the world. Here, we're looking for a gunslinger who can teach us some new tricks. Our intel points to the most Tina on Tatooine.
Mos Eisley.
Mhm.
So the intel, he's like, okay, we gotta find this gunslinger. So we got intel that they're on Tatooine in the Mos Eisley, right, cantina, right? So, but that's not where she is right now. So she's got to go to her ship and fly to Tatooine and go to the cantina. Man, it's beautiful.
Arena. You seen the poster?
Standing with him. That's this guy.
Oh, this is awesome.
Or you'll find everything you need to
She
find
has a little pet.
Huh?
That little pet following her.
Yeah. And what happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're picking up an Accra station.
His name is Fizz Gig.
Yeah, so this is the
This
spaceship.
is a ship.
Yeah.
You'll find everything you need to finalize your preparations.
She has a large cargo hull.
Yeah,
Right.
smuggler run.
Smugglers run. Yeah, you know what that's all about.
Hell yeah.
Look at this. You get in the cockpit.
Hopefully she meets up with some huts.
Yeah. Well, this takes place between Empire and Jedi, so it's right up in there in the Jabba the Hutt time.
Yeah.
That's it. It's beautiful. You hop in your ship and fly off into space. And this is not a cutscene, y'all. You are actually flying in your ship.
Each planet
It's crazy.
Each planet has its own system to explore.
to make a few credits.
To make a few credits. So you can that's what I was hoping that this game would be. That you could go out and figure out like hustles, different, shit to just hustle up different, hustle up money, do a little smuggling run, maybe do a
Run the
bounty hunt. You know what I mean? Do little shit.
Choose to engage with.
So we'll get to see a few if they're smart. We get to see some familiars.
Yeah. And this guy, she's flying right now, and someone just sent out a signal saying I'm under attack, and it's like a bulk freighter, and they're like, I'm under attack. Someone come help. So you can be like, okay, I'm gonna go help this guy and make some money, or you can just go where you want to go. But I think he's gonna go help this guy.
That's just dope, bro. Look at that. I can play that all day.
Yeah. Oh, I hear the guns.
Hell yeah.
While making a few credits. Spooling up the life.
And making some money.
Continue our journey.
So yeah, look at that. Boom.
The hyperspace. She in hyperspace.
Oh, that J.J. Abrams shit.
Now when you hyper speed, and then you come to the planet Tatooine.
Tatooine, there you go. The outlaw planet. Smugglers, thieves.
Most Isley.
He said something about the Hutt cartel.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
See, right up there it says Hutt territory.
Yep. They own Tatooine.
Our reputation with them is poor, so we best be on our way.
Our reputation with the Hutts is poor. At this time.
94.
At this time. See that see how it's yellow or orange right there? I bet you when you raise your like when they're happy with you, that shit turn green or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
that means you're bona fide reliable.
Yeah, right.
Smuggler.
They fuck with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is cool because you can fly up on the planet. This is Tatooine. You're literally flying up on the planet. Like it's taking a while to get there. Like you're flying to it, and then you fly up in it, and then boom, and you hit the atmosphere. This is great. You fly right in through the clouds, and you fly into the planet, and fucking literally, you know what I'm saying?
Hit the cutscene.
Go land on the
Shaolin.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And here's now this is a cutscene.
That's the cutscene. That's what. Instead of we actually get to fly the ship. The only thing we see is it landing. They're taking off, but we fly it after that.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
That shit is tough.
Dog.
Yeah, that's dope.
Most Isley.
Graphics, bro. Those graphics, bro.
Yeah.
Look, she fanning herself. Look, she like it was hot out. Like she fanning herself. Like damn. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you can work your way in to be like a member of the Hutt cartel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dope, bro. Like you could do anything, man. Join whatever fucking crew.
even though the increased imperial presence has been hurting their business. But first, we need to pick up the training for expert gunsmithing. The best place to start is
And you can step in Bantam Pudu.
There we go.
Cantina. Yeah.
That shit is classic.
This is the iconic shit. Throwback right here.
deadly with the blaster.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Most
Han
likely.
Solo took the first shot.
More intel
And there's a speeder bike.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
in the southern hills.
And then, oh, those my dudes.
Yep. Jawas.
Traveling to your destination
Jawas.
adventure itself.
The minions of Star Wars.
Cutscene.
Star Wars.
Across scorching deeps and dusty valleys, you'll quickly find this
Oh, we're gonna see some Sam people and all that shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've reached our destination. We need to locate our storehouse and find our way to
Yo.
heavily guarded workers without triggering the alarm.
Nice.
That's Hut's Palace, ain't it?
Look at the they're like the real binoculars they be looking through on the movie. How they phase
Yep.
in and out.
Right.
Like there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's dope, bro. That's attention to detail. I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Little creeping around, little gunfights. Here goes some fights.
And look at the
We've been spotted, but we now know
For the huts. I should talk to her. Oh, come on.
Damn.
we've been
oh,
spotted.
that wasn't
That's it.
Mandalorian
Greedo. No, no.
helmet.
Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Get off me. Get off me.
Damn. Blasting.
Oh shit, the bike just come up by itself.
Speeder bike,
What?
yeah.
Hmm.
Sideways to the liquor store. Skeet, skeet.
Yo, look at that.
The double
That looks real.
sons of
Yeah.
Oh, at least she ain't on no candy Vespa.
Mhm. There you go. The gunslinger.
If you're still looking for Hus, I haven't seen him.
Actually, I'm here for you. I'm the best shot on the planet.
Oh, you want to be second best.
Huh.
That's are coming and need to get ready. Get your blaster ready.
Even the sheriff. The sheriff is a woman.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That voice.
Yeah. He said that's the beginning of the game and shit. And you know, you see how it's about to get crazy. Look at that. Wow.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, like that. Damn.
Hell yeah. That shit lit.
Hell yeah.
Yo. Hell of a game.
August 30th. Damn.
Outlaws. Okay.
Yeah. August
We gotta
30th.
wait that long?
Mm,
Well, don't everything comes out after Madden, so
Mhm.
I can wait till August 30th. That's good.
Yeah, it's not that long.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I gotta
definitely.
break out.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
we got to
dope.
wrap it up.
Yep.
Well,
Definitely tight.
But yeah, man, that's our show, man. We're gonna call it a night, and we'll see you guys this week on Wednesday. Yes, sir.
Wednesday.
Every Saturday, every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all be safe. Have a good weekend. Check this out, y'all. You know what? If you don't like swine, but you really want pork rinds, here you go. You got chicken pork rinds now. they call chicken crackling.
Chicken
fried
crackling.
chicken fat with fat attached.
That's the
Yeah.
skin of the chicken, huh? They
Yeah,
finally
chicken.
did what I thought
Fine.
about 20 years ago.
Right, like fucking finally here. But anyway, I just seen that shit today. I had to snap a shot. But I'll see y'all, man. Be safe. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.